Hi folks, in today's video I'm going to show you how to make a delicious roast chicken. The method I use requires you to prep the bird a day ahead of time, but the results are well worth the planning. The first part of preparing the bird entails spatchcocking, or removing the backbone and flattening the chicken so you can get some nice and even cooking when it roasts in the oven. To get started, flip the bird breast side down and identify the backbone. You'll want to use a really sharp knife and a manageable knife to cut on both sides of the backbone in a piecemeal fashion. Take your time doing this so you don't accidentally cut yourself. And again, use a sharp knife. When you use a dull knife, you usually have to apply more pressure to cut, and this is when you can accidentally slip and cause yourself some real damage. Oh, and don't forget to save any chicken pieces that you remove. These can be used to make a really great stock, one that's much better than what you can get at the grocery store. After you remove the backbone, flip the bird and press firmly on the breast to crack the chest bone. You should hear an audible crack when you've broken the chest bone. This helps ensure that the bird is flat and heat evenly distributes when you put it in the oven. Next, transfer the bird to a baking dish or a roasting pan. Now we're going to move on to the dry brining phase. Dry brining is the process of injecting salt into meat or poultry to loosen muscle fibers so they better retain moisture, resulting in a juicier bird. A dry brine for a roast chicken requires that you heavily salt the bird and let it dry uncovered in your fridge anywhere from a few hours to an entire day. To save myself a bit of time the next day, I like to salt the bird and add freshly cracked black pepper at the same time. You'll want to do this to both sides of the bird to ensure that the salt is working its way into the muscle fibers from all sides. Also, when you add your salt to the bird, seriously add a generous dusting. I'd say at least 4 to 5 teaspoons per side if you're using a flaky salt like Diamond Crystal. Oh, and a pro tip. Add a less generous dusting of baking soda to the skin before you put the bird into the fridge. Why? The baking soda reacts with the skin, forming small bubbles and increasing the surface area of the skin, allowing you to get a crispier chicken skin during the eventual roast. Once you're done with your dry brine, pop the uncovered chicken into the fridge and let it sit anywhere from a few hours to preferably overnight. For this specific chicken, I prepped it around 9 p.m. and took it out of the fridge around 5 p.m. the next day. Depending on how long you've dry brined your bird, when you take the chicken out of the fridge, it should look pretty dry and a bit leathery. This is completely normal and safe. This now brings us to the last stage of prepping the bird for the oven. First, let your chicken rest outside of the fridge for about an hour before you put it into the oven. This lets it come to room temperature and aids with even cooking throughout the bird. After that, apply a layer of oil to the skin to aid with getting that really crispy skin. To add a bit of color, I like to mix turmeric and olive oil and brush the chicken all over with the mixture. Also, make sure to brush all areas of the skin with the oil. Finally, time to roast the bird. Heat up your oven to 500 degrees and roast the chicken until the breast reads 150 degrees with a thermometer. Usually this takes 40 to 60 minutes depending on your oven. Let the bird rest outside of the oven for 10 minutes. During this time, the bird will continue to cook and raise another 10 degrees or so. When you're ready to carve the bird, use a sharp, heavy knife like a cleaver if you have one. Start by splitting the bird down the middle and then removing the legs, thighs, breasts, and wings. And there you have it, folks. Delicious, homemade roast chicken. Thanks for watching.